Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So here we are with our session number 101. Alhamdulillah. And let's start with a quick review. Here we are. So the first question that I have is, I'm not going to ask the first question first. I'm going to take you to the second question first. Does al-amr of Bab Taf'il, which is family number 2, need Hamzatul Wasl? What do you think? Do we need Hamzatul Wasl for the second family that we learned a couple of sessions ago? No, we don't need it. And why do we not need Hamzatul Wasl for that? Though there is an Amr there, but why don't... Give me another reason. We need Hamzatul Wasl because our words cannot begin with a sukoon. In Arabic, you cannot start a word with a sukoon. Right? So if I have Nasara yansuru, and if I try to make an amr from tansuru, when I remove alamatul mudari and I am going to make my mudari majzoom, I have put sakoon on my last letter. Can I start a word with noon sakoon? Yes or no? No, right? So when we were learning our amr, we were, just to begin, let me just so that, there's no confusion for each and every one of you. I'm going to just show you that in how we used to do commanding and why there was an amr for some of them and not for all of them. There was Hamzatul Wasl for some amr and then not for all of them. Let's see. You remember what was the whole entire process? Tansuru, we remove alamatul mudare, we are left with noon, sadra, and then we make mudare majzoom. That is sukoon at the end now. Now, I cannot start with noon sukoon. So I have to bring this hamzatul wasl, right? This helping hamza to help me pronounce the word, right? If I have to begin from this word, I have to have something in the beginning of the word. That is why I put this hamzatul wasl there, right? So then, there is, I add a hamzatul wasl here. But when you look back, when you see a word like, let's see if we have some example of, for example, if you look here, tujahidu, if I make a amr from tujahidu, and if I remove alamatul mudari and make mudari majzoom, do I need to add something here after I make jahid, after I'm at this stage jahid, or I can still pronounce the word without having to add anything, right? I don't need to add any helper hamza here, right? So, and when we made the amr from allama yu'allimu, from tu'allimu, when we make an amr, ain already has a fatha. So therefore, we do not need to add hamzatul wasl. Easy or no? Yeah, makes sense now? Now, let's just see how will we differentiate between fail madin, failuhu hum, with failuhu hum, and failul amr, failuhu antum, in case of family 2 and family 4. And this is very important. For example, if I show you this verse from Surah An-Nisa, verse number 136, look here. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. What do you think about amanu? What's the siga? Fail madin mudare amr nahi. What? It's a fail. Very well done. It's fail. When you have determined it's a fail madin. Okay. I am with you. It and find who is whom. Now look at this word aminu. Can you see the difference between both of them? Can you distinguish one from another? Look at the word. We're just in the surf part of it, so we'll focus on the surf of it. Okay, we'll just notice the spelling. So there is amanu and then comes aminu, right? We have a kasra on the meme. We have a kasra on the meme. So this is fail madin. This is fail madin, and this is going to be failul amr, right? Failul amr. Everyone with me. Is it clear to each and every one of you? Okay. And that is why the whole practice is going to be today on, Sarf Kabir, and inshallah I will tell you how you are going to do that. So let's just finish this exercise, and then inshallah I will tell you how you are going to distinguish one from the other. Okay. In fail madin, do you see any kasra? Aslama, amana. Do you see any kasra? But in fail mudari, do you see any kasra on second root letter? Amana yu'minu. Do you see? You do see a kasra on the meme. Where do you get your failul amr from? When you try to make failul amr, you use fail mudari. In which person? First person, second person, or third person? Second person, right? So it was basically tu'minu or tu'minuna, right? So what is the first step? Tu'minuna, if I have to make my failul amr from there. Remove alamatul mudari, number 1. Number 2, so it's at the last letter. If it is, let's just see here. Let me take you to this. So this was from tu'minuna. I have to use this form because I am I have a plural, right? It is like this. Right? So now tu'minuna was the original word form. I remove ta. I'm going to make it majzoom by removing noon. This is gone. This is gone. I am left with this now. What is the part of this word but was missing in fail mudari? What is the part of this family but gets dropped in fail mudari? Hamza. Very good job. Hamza was something, Hamzatul Qata, which is seen in, the first, form. You see it here, Amana. You have an Alif Hanjariya. I will just write it with Alif Hanjariya. And then, but when it comes to yu'minu drops, the Hamza that belongs to the family, right? Like aslama yuslimu, we don't call it yu aslimu. Remember the practice that we did when we were learning family 4, Bhabe if'al, that was there, but we just don't see it in Failul Mudari. So I did not bring it from anywhere. I did not added it. It was a part of Mudari, but is not visible in Mudari. It's just there, right? But it's not seen in Mudari. But it's just being visible, it becomes visible when it comes to Failul Amr. So that is always there. So that Hamza you are going to put. And when, according to the rules of Tajweed, when there are two Hamzas together, the second Hamza gets changed into Alif. So you can also, either you can write it like this, or you can write it like this, or you can put a mud here, whatever. Okay, there are different ways to write it, but you always read it two counts. You make it a mud letter. You change the second Hamza into Alif. Is this clear? Yes, it won't have sukoon, because here you are making your mudare majzoom bihasfin noon. Bihasfin noon. So this is a way of making mudare majzoom in case of af'alul khamsa. Af'alul khamsa, if you remember in the beginning we learned, are those af'al that have waw, yaul mukhataba, and aliful isnain in them. And those af'al are made majzoom by the removal of noon, not by putting sukoon on them, because they don't end with dhamma, right? Like Tansurina does not end with dhamma. It ends with noon fatha. So I have to just drop that noon. And tu'minuna does not end with dhamma letter, right? It ends with noonul irad or noonul raf. So I have to just remove it when I have to make it madzoom. Did I refresh your memory a bit? Okay. Alhamdulillah, everyone with me? Okay. So let's just go back and see where we are. Let's see. Okay. So now comes your word nazzala. What do you think about word nazzala? What's the correct siga for nazzala? I need a correct siga. It's madi, and fa'iluhu is huwa, and this fa'iluhu huwa is from, this madin is from family number 2, because the second root letter is doubled up, right? Anzala. Madi, good job. Family 4, good job. Yakfur. Mudare, majzoom, good job. Family mazid fihi or mujarrad? Mudare, mujarrad. And remember Salasi mujarrad, if you just want to give it a name, you can name it family number 1, as Sister Zarina has already written in the chat box. So you can, all your Salasi mujarrad, you can put it in family form 1 or family 1. Okay. So this is, so what is making this majzoom? Man. Yes, it is majzoom because it has a sukoon, but what made it majzoom was the man shartiya. Remember, we did it once upon a time, right? Man, ma, mahma, in, isma, ainama, kaifama, haisuma, all those words, they create a shirt, they set a condition, and man is one of those words, okay? Now comes your word dalla. What do you think about this one? Mujarrad, very well done. So whoever has identified it as Mujarrad or family 1 is right. Because if it was family 2, if it was family 2, the spellings would have been, there would have to be 4 letters, right? Dallala. So, but it is just, dalla, right? He he got lost, right? Now I have a word here, dalalan. Dalalan. And this is how I learned this, because it was very hard for us, for personally for me to, to get the hang of grammar, because it's not, it was challenging for me. So dalalan means misguidance, to misguide or misguidance. So what kind of a word does it look like? Does it look like fail madin, mudare? Very good job, Zohra. Does it look like masdar, file, maf'ul, or fail amr, nahi, or zarf? Right? It's an idea word. Misguidance is an idea, right? So your idea word or your action word without a tense are going to be masdar, which is also called infinite or also called verbal noun. Is this clear, my dear sisters? Hmm? When you are not able to, put them under the umbrella of madin, mudare, file, maf'ul, zarf, then start thinking about, is it an idea word? Can I just put it under an idea that this is just an idea? Misguidance, and this is, misguidance is, to misguide or misguidance is an action, but it does not have any tense. So it very well is masdar. Good job. Okay. Now, if I call this man shartiya, so where is my shart ending? Let's just make it. That's akhir. Good job. And from fa, what kind of fa is that, my dear sisters? We went over this fa very fa'ur rabita. Very good job. Very good job. And Sister Zohra has said that this is dalalan is maf'ul mutlaq. Maf'ul mutlaq. What about the rest of the sisters? Because we have already done the test on what is it called, mafa'ilul khamsa. So what do you think? Dalalan is maf'ul mutlaq. Do you all agree? Sharing the same root letters as the root letter of the fi'l. It is there to enhance the to enhance, to emphasize, and to tell you what kind of misguidance, right? So, alhamdulillah. Okay. Can you connect al-kitabi, al-lazi? Is there any way you can connect these two together? Very good job. Very good job. So proud of you all. Mawsuf was sifa, all four properties are matching. It is a book, and the book, that which he sent down upon his messenger, wal kitabil lazi, and the book, that which he sent down before. See how now when you see how when you can make these connections, how the word, the meaning is more meaningful, right? The meaning is more understood and deeply understood, I would say, right? It makes more sense. So al kitab al lazi, the book that he sent down upon his messenger, wal kitab bil lazi, and the book that he sent down before, right? Why is al kitabi jar in status? The reason, real quick. Oh, 19 minutes are already passed. Very good job. Al atf, harf atf, my dear sisters. Atf, do not forget. Do not forget. Atf. Al kitabi, not for tajweed, not because of B. B made Allahi, Allahi, Lazul Jalala, jar. And then Waw was transferring the status from Warusulihi, Wal Kitabi. Oh, those who have believed, you all believe in Allah and His Messenger, and the book that He sent down upon His Messenger, and the book that He sent down before. Min qablu. Why is this not taking a kasra? Term 1. I was just teaching someone these special mudaf, so you have covered, and I was using your notes, and I'm teaching from your notes, everyone. Very well done. So proud of you. No mudaf ilayhi, very upset. Very upset. He said, I'm going to be now very resistant, very stubborn. I'm going to keep Dhamma on myself. I'm not going to take any haraka but Dhamma. Okay? Men qablu, if it qablu, ba'du, those are the words. If they do not have their mudaf ilayhi after them, they become mabni with by taking Dhamma on them. Okay, they become non-flexible with Dhamma. What's the original status of that word? Jar in status, right? Okay, so again, if I ask you why is al yomi, what is making yomi jar? Can anyone tell me? At, right? And whoever he disbelieves in Allah and his angels and his books and his messengers and the last day, then he indeed has lost, has been misguidance, and he has fell into misguidance, a far misguidance. So at, because of at, al yomi is, you are again going to say because of wow at, I see all those, jar statuses. And if I ask you why billahi, why lafzul jalala is majroor lit ta'zim, what is making lafzul jalala majroor? Harf jar ba, right? So here you are going to say b, but when it comes to al yomi, you are going to say because of at, there is a transference of status. Easy? Okay. Aslimu. What do you think? Where is this coming from? Aslimu. Family 4. What helped you identify that this is a member of family 4? This belongs to family 4. What is the last, what is its last name? If I ask you, if I may ask. Hamzatul Qata, Barakallahu Feek. Like just John's, um, how people have Roberts and those names, and Sandhus, Maliks. So this Hamzatul Qata is the added thing, and that is very special to the family, right? Now, and this is Failul Amr. Okay, why I do not call it Fail Madin? Fail Madin ends like that too. What helps you identify this as Failul Amr? Very well done. This kasra in these big families, you will see this kasra in these big families on the second root letter many, many, many times. And that will help you identify many things. If you focus on these harakas, you are going to master surf. I'm assuring you. Okay. So now anibu. Can somebody wants to make a guess here? Anibu. And I know this is irregular. Very well done. Family 4. What helps you identify this is from family 4? Hamzatul Qata in the beginning. Root letters were Noon, Waw, Ba, right? Noon, Waw, Ba were the root letters. And your word again has kind of a spelling like A-E, like Aslimu, Anibu. Its past tense form is Anabu. So it's lots of fatha in the past tense form. But when it comes to Amr, it is Anibu. So Barakallahu Feek, you were able to identify it as Failul Amr and Hamzatul Qata. Were you able to identify it as Failul Amr as well? Or I just, saw the previous message? No? Okay, but just Kasra here. And because this is Noon Waw Ba, so therefore, you will see a change like Akimu. If I give you a word Akimu, what is going to be the siga for that? Amr, Failul Amr of family number. Throughout Quran, if I give you any Amr, and it is starting with Hamzatul Qata, what is your answer? What is your answer for any Amr? I'm telling you, this Amr is having Hamzatul Qata. What will be your one answer? And you all should be unanimously giving me that answer. If my Amr has Hamzatul Qata in the beginning, my Amr is from family 4. Okay? And yeah, there can be, sometimes, a little here and there, but, for the most part, if you see a number beginning with Hamzatul Qata, in 99.9% of cases, you are going to tell me family 4. Okay? Now, yes, and this Hamzatul Qata in Failul Amr form, you will have a fatah as well. Very good job. Okay. Let's see a little bit about how we are going to open up each and every word of what we have been learning so far. Okay. So when you are going to see your any family, let me just show you the families that we have covered so far. And now let me introduce you to all the cousins and chachis and mamis and nanis and dadis and khala sas and pupi sas and whatnot. 1 second. And this is important, and because for some of you have asked, and that is good that you have asked. Okay, so if I take you to Aslama family, I have shown you these family members. Okay, right? Aslama yuslimu islaman fahuwa muslimun. Uslima yuslamu islaman fahuwa muslimun. Al-amru minhu aslim wa anhu la tuslim wa zarfu minhu muslimun. Everyone with me so far? Zarf is a noun of time and place. The place where the person submitted is Muslamun. The time when the person submitted was Muslamun. Keep that in mind, okay? And Islaman, to submit or submission, is an idea which is masdar. Now, look at this. Let me show you that. You have that Aslama, okay? Yes, Salasi Mazid Fihi is all those families that have something added in addition to 3 root letters. Okay, Salasi means 3. Salasi means 3. Mazid means something that has been made more. Okay, something has been made more in it. Okay, so in Aslama you had Hamzatul Qata. In family number 2 or family Babe Taf'il, you have seen doubling of the second root letter. So when you saw that your guy Aslama, that was the beginner, and he married a girl named Yuslimu, and they had a baby called Islaman, and then that person went on to become Muslim. Okay, so Aslama, if you open this up, has many chachi mamis in the families too. Okay, in this family. So now when you look at this word, and if I ask you, do sarf kabir, what is the meaning of kabir? Big, right? More or big, mainly, right? And sagir means small, right? So that was the first slide that I showed you here, or here, was this one is sarf sagir, and now I'm showing you sarf kabir. So I'm going to take one by one each word. Okay, each word I'm picking from those family members. Okay, I'm picking Aslama. I'm going to now spread it out. I'm going to ask him to multiply. Okay, Aslama multiplied and developed all these words that are right in front of you on this slide. Aslama, aslama, aslamu, aslamat, aslamata, aslamna, aslamta, aslamtuma, aslamtum, aslamti, aslamtuma, aslamtunna, aslamtu, aslamna. Can you see how many words did you get from that one Failul Madi? Aisha, focus here first, right? You got 14 more words, but you got 14 words from your Aslama, right? Similarly, if I pick Allama, How many words am I going to get from allama? Same 14 more words. Now I'm going to make from aslama, there was another family member, uslima. So same thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to make 14 more words, 14 total words from uslima. 14 more words. Uslima, uslima, uslimu, uslimat, uslimata, uslimna, uslimta, uslimtuma, uslimtum, uslimti, uslimtuma, uslimtunna, uslimtu, uslim. Ulima, ulima, ulimu, ulimat, ulimata, ulimna, ulimta, ulimtuma, ulimtum, ulimti, ulimtuma, ulimtunna, ulimtu, ulimna. Everyone with me so far? Type 1 if you are. Alhamdulillah. So how many total words we got so far? 14, 14 each, so 28 from each, from allama and from aslama, both we have gotten 28 words. So this is a surf machine in action. Now comes your fail mudare. Okay, so you have done that, and now comes your failul mudare. Okay, so how many words are we seeing here again on the slide? Yuslimu, yuslimani, yuslimuna, tuslimu, tuslimani, yuslimna, tuslimu, tuslimani, tuslimuna, tuslimina, tuslimani, tuslimna, uslimu, nuslimu. Again, 14 more words from your Yuslimu girl who married Aslama. Right? Then comes very productive family. Then comes your yu'allimu, and it does the same thing. It's doing the same job. Yu'allimu, yu'allimani, yu'allimuna, tu'allimu, tu'allimani, yu'allimna. Tu'allimu, tu'allimani, tu'allimuna, tu'allimina, tu'allimani, tu'allimna, u'allimu, nu'allimu. Everyone with me so far? And I just kept the passive for aslama, but you can all make passive for yu'allamu, and you can just put it in the surf kabir chart. You should be making surf kabir charts, and I should share with you some someday some notes from the pictures of my sister, how she used to all the time do surf kabir, all the time. She will have notebooks and notebooks of surf kabir. So this is how you learn something and you master something. So I will recommend the same thing to you all, because you are all my sisters, and the same advice that I will give to anyone, I will to my family members. You are like my family members as well, right? So the same advice for you, that make sure you do a lot of practice, and you should know how many words you are getting. Is everyone with me so far? That you got 28 words from fail madin in the fail madin part. You got 28 in fail mudare part, including ma'loom and majhool. Then comes your failul amr. Failul amr, let's go and do failul amr. So count, and one person should keep a tab on number of words that we have learned so far. So now comes your failul amr. Very good guy. So then he says that I'm not just aslim, I can be aslima, I can be aslimu, I can be aslim, aslimi. Sorry, this is not na, this is wrong. This should be ya, and let me just correct it. And aslima and aslimna. So how many words we got in total now? 6. Barakallahu fi. Now comes your fellow nahi. Okay, the failun nahi that you saw just as a la tuslim says that I have 6 more, we are all 6 in number. So la tuslim, la tuslima, la tuslimu, la tuslimi, la tuslima, la tuslimna, la tuallimna, in case of allama, yuallimu. Everyone got it? Okay. So this was the fail part of the family, right? We have covered the fail, right? Everyone understood how this works. Okay. Now let's go to the guy which is called ism file. So we have been learning ism file, this ism file in our Muslim chart when we were babies, right? When you were in kindergarten and I was your kindergarten teacher. And I would wish I can be kindergarten teacher one day, because I think it's a very nice job, right? But for kindergarten teachers, hats off to them what they do for the students. So okay, now see here, right? So you have Muslimun. You had guy Muslimun. Muslimun said, okay, I am not only one. There are other family members. Come meet them. Okay, Muslimun, Muslimani, Muslimuna, Musliman, Muslim. Or let's just do it the way it should be done. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Everyone got what they needed to know about Muslim guy and the rest of the family members. We got 9 more words. We need like 9 together with from Muslim, right? Now comes your Muslimatun. Your Muslimatun said, I have my own identity. I want to keep my identity. Okay, I am don't take me light. I'm someone very special. So I'm a word with Tamarbuta, and I from Muslimun you have a female version of that, which is Muslimatun. You will put that in table, and you will make how many words with that? 9 more words. So from ism file and filatun, total 18 words you got. You can see it on my screen. Muslimatun, muslimatan, muslimatin, muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini, muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. Got it? Then comes your ism maf'ul. Ism maf'ul, the same thing. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslamaini, Muslamaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. So again, the girl says that, I'm going to come up with Tamarbuta. I don't want to just follow the boys. I have my own identity. I want to, and, there's this, I'm different. And you again got 18 total ism maf'uls, right? 18 together. Your zarf spells the same as your ism maf'ul. Can someone tell me, and can someone come on on mic and just recite ism zarf for me? The place and time of submission. If someone can come on mic, anyone can raise their hand, and please, or I should pick one of you. I don't want to pick you. You big girls. Anyone can come. Sabra, please do it. Okay, because just do the ism zarf for Muslimun.
The same thing what Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Same thing what we have on the chart. Right?
Yes, you have to just say the ism zarf for this.
Okay.
But
for example,
and there can be a change, and that change you have to find out. Okay, so you are given the word Muslimun as your zarf. Start.
Okay. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. Oh yeah, Muslima. Okay, ani. So you have zarf as a majroor, right?
You can it can be majroor, it can be raf nasb jar, anything. It can be raf nasb jar, because this is ism zarf. It can do anything in your words. It is not like a zarf like word qabla or tahta. It is different.
Okay.
It is spelled as zarf. So you can go ahead and say Muslimani, Muslamaini,
Muslimani, Muslamaini, Muslamaini. Muslimuna. No.
Now, Sister Sabra, when we were learning our Muslim chart, there was a fact that I told you guys that Muslim masculine plural is reserved for blank, with some exceptions. Muslim masculine plural table, Muslim masculine plural table is reserved for blank. Anyone remembers?
It's general, like I told.
Okay. It has something to do with intellect.
Yeah. Sorry, Saima.
No problem. So una ina. So just think about it. Una ina is for intelligent beings, and intelligent beings in Quran are, or intellectual beings in Quran are who? Tell me.
Humans and jinns.
Angels.
Angels and jinns.
Angels and jinns. So now a place, can it have any intelligence?
Place will not have any intelligence.
So what should we use then? Can we use the feminine plural for that?
Yes.
Right? And we are going to do that. So instead of saying Muslamuna, we are going to say
Muslamatin.
Yes, Muslamatun.
Muslamatin.
Yes. It makes sense now?
Yes.
Jazakallah khair for volunteering. I really appreciate. I really appreciate you always. And for those of you who don't know, Sister Sabra is my teacher, my group in charge. And I was a very bad student of hers, but Alhamdulillah, I'm very proud that she is here. It's such a great honor to have her in this class. So, okay. So when it comes to Ism Zarf, the table is going to be Muslamun, Muslaman, Muslamin, Muslamani, Muslamaini, Muslamaini, Muslamatun, Muslamatin, Muslamatin. Okay? We are not going to worry much about, the Zarf table or, very fine details. But these words you are going to see very common. Maf'ul, you are going to come across very commonly in Quran. Ism file, you see it all the time in Quran. Yes or no? Do you all agree with that? Innal muslimuna wal muslimatin. Innal muslimina wal muslimatin. You see it all the time. So it's very important that you should know where these words are coming from. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Anything, if you want to forget, you will never put ism zarf on the intelligent table. Okay? On this masculine sound plural table. Okay, you can not put. There are exceptions that are there, but we are not going to look into that at this point. The point to remember is zarf cannot occupy masculine plural column. Okay, your zarf will not occupy masculine plural column. Everyone with me, my dear sisters? Okay, so let me start another thing that I for now, everyone now is well versed with how you are going to do your Sarf Kabir. Everyone is good with Sarf Kabir? I want everyone to answer now. How many of you are there? Please kindly, so that I can see your ones and I can move ahead then. Okay, inshallah. So in family number 4 or Babe If'al, the extra letter or Mazid letter that you learned was Hamzatul Qata. When you go on to learn family number 2 or Babe Taf'il, the extra letter you found was doubling of the second root letter. Just a disclaimer, you learned the masdar of this family was taf'ilan, like ta'liman, tahsinan, tahriman, tanzilan. There can be few more masadir that you will come across and they will still belong to family 2. Is this clear? At this stage, as a beginner student of Sarf, I would want you to remember one masdar, which is taf'il, and the rest I'm going to give you in the slide, but you don't need to memorize it at this stage. Okay, if you are well versed with ta'liman, we are good. Okay, the last time there was a question about how, sometimes there are different root letters in different families. So, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Arabs used to do that. So sometimes it is that, if a word belongs to family number 4, it can imply that action occurred all at once. Okay, action occurred all at once. And if a same root letter goes in family number 2, which has a shadda, it can imply that action has occurred repeatedly and slowly. Does it make sense? Yes or no? And then I'm going to make sure that it makes sense. When it comes to Quran, you have learned in Quran, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Shahru Ramadan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran. Month of Ramadan is the one in which Quran was sent down. So, my dear sisters, from the seventh heaven to the first heaven in Baytul Izzah, the entire Quran was brought down. Do we all know that? If you don't know that, just know it from today. That from seventh heaven to the first heaven, where Baitul Izzah is, Jibrail Amin brought the entire Quran on the night of Ramadan. So it was the entire action occurred. So the whole Quran was brought down from the seventh heaven to the first heaven. Therefore, you see, Anzalnahu or Unzila. When it comes to the revelation of Quran to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it did not occur. It did not happen all at once. Was he given the entire book in his hand on one day, or on the first day when he met Jibrail Amin and Ghar Hira? No, it did not occur like that. It occurred slowly and surely. The wahi continued to come down. So therefore, you can see Nazzala. Nazzala alayka al-kitab. He sent down upon you the book, bil haqqi, with a purpose. How did he send? Bil haqq, with a purpose. And we sometimes don't, understand it. Okay, but when it comes to, my dear sisters, the revelation of a Torah or Injil, what do we know about those books? Did they also come down over the period of 23 years or 10 years or 5 years, or were they just given all at once? Once. So you can see Anzala Torah wal Injil. So can you see how same root letters Noon, Zailam, and they help you understand how when the different root letters are put in different families, how different meanings come out, right? Making sense or no? So if it is Nazala, so he sent down slowly, multiple times, and the action happened repeatedly. You understand, I also told you that this is something big that happened. It is not something, when it comes to family too, qattala also means to massacre, to kill brutally. So Nazala is not just sending down anything, it is sending down something very, very special, isn't it? Make sense? That how not only slowly, but it is something big that was coming down from the from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. So it indicates the intensity of an action. Sometimes it will indicate that there was lot of objects of action. Sometimes it will indicate that the action happened slowly and repeatedly. But at this stage, if you just know small differences, that will make that will help you understand, and will make you ponder over Quran the way you should be pondering over in the next few months, inshallah, and the entire life later on, inshallah. Okay, so that was about family 2 and family 4, a little introduction to their nature. Because first of all, you just need to familiarize yourself with how the word looks, and then what can be the implication of using one over the other. But that is for a later time. I just gave you a brief introduction, but inshallah more to come, and we will focus on that after we have mastered all our families. How, because the first point is to know how the families look. So the family that we are going to do today is called Bab Mufa'ala. It is family number 3. It is also called Alif family, and it's also called Dhamma family. If I tell you that family number 4 and family number 2 can also be called Dhamma family, so what will be your, will you be okay with that? Can I also call them Dhamma families too? No, I can. I can. I can. Because see, Aslama yuslimu, Akhbara yukhbiru. But most of my mudare, which is ma'loom, do not begin with Dhamma on alamatul mudare. However, Aslama and Allama do begin with Dhamma on alamatul mudare. So I can call them Dhamma families as well. And here is another Dhamma family that you are seeing here. Okay, so this Dhamma family, which is number 3, and also called Bab Mufa'ala, has Zaida Alif in it. What is additional in it is Alif. What will you see here? You will see letter Alif. Okay, and where will this Alif be present? It will be seen after the first root letter, which is your Paul Kalima. Okay, the other names are Dhamma family and Alif family, because the added letter is Alif. Okay, so before I go on to tell you the nature and the properties of the family, I would like you to see how does it look like. Okay, so here we have Sarf Saghir of family number 3. Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan fahuwa mujahidun. Juhida yujahadu jihadan wa mujahadatan fahuwa mujahadun. Al-amru minhu jahid والنهي عنه لا تجاهد والظرف منه مجاهد. جاهد يجاهد جهادا ومجاهدة فهو مجاهد. جوهد يجاهد جهادا ومجاهدة فهو مجاهد. الأمر منه جاهد والنهي عنه لا تجاهد والظرف منه مجاهد. Where are we seeing our alifs? Everywhere you are seeing alif after the first root letter. Except for, in masdar, you are seeing one masdar where one alif is after the second root letter, but focus on your fail madin, fail mudari, ism fa'il, الفعل الماضي مبني للمجهول فعل المضارع مبني للمجهول and اسم مفعول and فعل الأمر and فعل النهي and اسم ظرف. So in the entire family, what is one thing that is common is you have an extra alif, and that is present after the first root letter. When it comes to the masdar, do we see one masdar or we are seeing two masadir here? There are two masadir, and mujahadatan has alif after the first root letter. However, jihadan has an alif after the second root letter. So it is like fi'alan wa mufa'alatan. Fi'alan wa mufa'alatan. Everyone got it? So here, when you change, if I ask you jahada, my dear sisters, jahada, when you change it to passive, yes, you are not seeing any alif here. Thanks for pointing that out, my dear sister. Why is the alif not there? What is the reason? Because there is a dhamma on the letter before it. Okay, there is a dhamma on the letter before it. Therefore, you do not see alif in the passive form. Okay, so that is the only sigha that is missing in alif. Okay, rest you will see alif in all forms. Let me show you one thing. This alif, you should know how you are going to distinguish it from hamza, and we have gone over this in the past sessions as well. I actually took this from the previous session. So when it comes to al hamza, it is haruful hijja, which is haruf tahajji, which we call in Urdu, and it's the same as alphabets of letters of alphabet in English. Okay, Al-Hamza is a proper letter of an alphabet. Okay, when it comes to an alif, it is just a harkatu tawila. Therefore, you sometimes just you call it khadi zabar in Indo-Pak. Do we call it khadi zabar? Right? And just you just prolong it. You just think of it like a haraka. You don't even think of it as a letter. When you see a baby alif, you think of it as a haraka. You don't think of it as a letter. Okay, so they say this is harakatu tawila, that is there to prolong a letter of a haraka, haraka of a letter that is before it. Okay, when it comes to makhraj, al-hamza is from aqsal halq, which means the lowest part of the throat. When it comes to alif, it is it is pronounced from the jof, which is the empty space of mouth and throat. So their makharij are different as well. You will see alif is always preceded by a fatha. It is always preceded by a fatha. When it comes to al-hamza, it can be preceded by any haraka. It has no restriction. There can be any haraka before hamza. When it comes to an alif, it can have it can never have any tashkil on it. It will never have any haraka on it. When it comes to al-hamza, it can have fatha, dhamma, kasra, and it can also have sakoon on it. Okay, you will notice an alif can never be in the beginning of the word. It can be in the middle or at the end of the word. Okay, the main thing that you must know is it can never be in the beginning. And why so? Why do you think alif cannot be at the beginning of a word? We just covered that in the beginning of our session. In Arabic, words cannot begin with no haraka, because there is no haraka. Words cannot begin with a letter that has sakoon and daiman. That is sakoon and daiman, and an alif is a sakoon and daiman, cannot take any haraka. Therefore, it can never be in the beginning of a word, because it can never have any haraka. Okay, it is called harakatu tawila because it is just a prolonged haraka, just there to prolong the letter on top of which it is standing. Okay, lengthening letter, yes. Then when it comes to al-hamza, there is no such restriction. Hamza can be in the beginning, it can be in the middle, it can be at the end of the word. So let's see how it looks like. Amma, the word amma has an ending alif. Can you see here amma? And you can see it is at the end of the word, right? Not in the beginning. There is a straight line in the beginning. What is this straight line? And this straight line has a haraka. It is hamza. And you can see that alif is preceded by a letter containing a fatha. Similarly, in yazakka, you again see an alif. It has a letter before it that is carrying a fatha. It is at the end of the word and it is carrying no haraka. In word mata'an, there are two alifs, one after ta and one after ain. And you can see this baby alif and this alif, they are both without any haraka. The letter before both of them is carrying a fatha and they are not in the beginning of the word. Everyone with me so far? When it comes to hamza, it can have a fatha, as we can see in word Allah, aidi. It can have a kasra, as you can see in word yawmaizin. It can have a dhamma, as you can see in word ambiuni. It can have a sakoon, as you can see in word sha'nun. So hamza can have all four. However, alif will be sakoonan daiman, will forever be without any haraka. Type 1 if you all understood it, because this alif is very important. So as we just said that this is just a harakatu tawila. What did it do to jeen? When you have alif after jeen, did you where did the sound go? Ja, just you just read it 2 counts, right? It's a harkatut tawila. Isn't it not prolonging the sound of a letter before? Now Jim is read 1 count or 2 count. Make sense? Everyone got it? Now it is read 2 counts because this alif is there without any haraka, with a letter carrying a fatha preceding it. All conditions are met, therefore we call it alif, and we are not going to confuse it with hamza. Okay? When you make it passive, so this was read 2 counts. So this has to be read 2 counts as well. So what corresponds to dhamma? Which letter corresponds to dhamma? Which can be a cousin for dhamma? Wow, wow. And we have been seeing that throughout the Quran. Yeah. So when we make a passive out of it, you have to make it juhida, because if you skip this alif in passive, then that means shortened you have shortened something, you have omitted something from Quran, and this is a major mistake, right? If you say juhida, it's not right. Juhida, right? 2 counts. You all with me that where this wow is coming from? Sister Ranaz, is this clear? The letter that corresponds to dhamma is wow. Okay, so we have to bring wow here. And alif is always going to be preceded by what? Which haraka is going to be before alif always? Fatha, fatha. Say 10 times that and go through this table 10 times, because that is the your crux of grammar as well, because when you do sarf, these things come time and time again. So we need to be very well versed with that. So I will have to end the session here. I'm so sorry, and we'll go over our babi mufa'ala in our next session on Wednesday. Inshallah, I hope you find this beneficial, and if you do, make sure that you do a lot of surf practice. Okay? Yes. Yes, this is Sabra. Let's stop the recording.